Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
All right, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? It's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Shoots and Ladders podcast. Here are your hosts, Desiree and Jason.
Shoots and Ladders, final bell on Peacock, first round on ESPN. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hi, friends. It's Desiree Josen.
Big breaking news has the wrestling world buzzing. WWE's run on Peacock is officially over. The final bell has sounded, and from here on out, it's all about ESPN and the ESPN app. That's a huge shift for WWE, streaming, and the fan experience. Social media has been on fire with reactions, some excited, some fierce, and some just confused. Des, what's your gut reaction to WWE leaving Peacock for ESPN?
Well, it's different. They are going to be across every single platform now, and I'm just curious how the first PLE is going to be. That's what I'm more interested in seeing, but the fan reactions have been very loud and very colorful. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, let's start by unpacking the why. What's driving WWE to make the switch?
There's been a lot of talks that there were some technical challenges with Peacock. I personally didn't notice them. And, as being a Peacock subscriber for so many years, and the reason being was because the WWE library was on there. I had no really major issues, but apparently that was one of the deciding factors too. But, with WWE, they are a business and business first before anything. And so if they want to expand a partnership to something large like ESPN, it makes sense for them to get their name out even more rather than on like Peacock or Hulu or something along those lines. So it makes sense business-wise, but yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I started noticing, I'm sure you have too, they actually have WWE segments from the night before show on SportsCenter. That's a huge deal. So I will say from a business point of view, I'm actually with you. It's definitely a step up.
Yeah, and if you look at it too, this is a sport. Us wrestling fans aren't just wrestling fans. We love football, basketball, soccer, everything. So it does make sense for them to be on this kind of platform that goes across the board to other sports too. So we get it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Plus, TKO is the parent company, which we obviously know has WWE and UFC together.
Yep.
All right, now let's talk about the fans, because at the end of the day, they're the ones feeling this the most. Let's talk about pricing comparisons, accessibility, and the WWE library. I want to hear your thoughts.
I am most nervous about the library. That's all I really care about. I will always find my way to watch the PLE. If I have to pay for it, I will. I'm not a good example of someone who is upset about the money. I don't want to pay multiple platforms, but I think I actually pay for everything. I pay for Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, HBO, everything. So I'm not a good example for that, but it does dig heavy into the pocket. So I get it. So that's just another thing. If you don't have the ESPN app, that's just another thing you're going to have to pay for. And then come to find out it's $30 per PLE. I don't know how that's going to work. Accessibility, the same thing. It's just a matter of, platforms and just that's up in the air. My biggest concern, like I mentioned, was the library. I know that they confirmed Peacock will run everything until March of 2026. And then I'm assuming they're going to go back to something that they did before. which is like a WWE kind of subscription where you can access them. I just don't want to lose them because that's what I watch daily. And even on my downtime, I love rewatching old Raws, old pay-per-views, documentaries, anything. So that's my biggest concern. How about you?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, so it's funny enough, when this whole thing happened, you texted me, hey, look, Verizon kind of has a special. You get to pay $10 a month and you would have access. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest, that's like, luckily I have Verizon, so I was able to jump on that. But yeah, to me, it's overall, it's about the pricing. Look, we say this all the time, we don't get the AEW pay-per-views because I'm not paying monthly in addition to that. So if I have to pay for an app and have everything else, that's fine, which is why I didn't have an issue with Peacock. But yeah, no, if you're going to charge on top of that, that's going to be a whole different conversation. So like this is where we need like just more clarity.
My only confusion is I have not dug deep enough to know how, because the first PLE, which I was prepared for next year, I was expecting for the rest of the year to be running through Peacock, so I was like, I don't have to worry about this until at least January, at least until Rumble. Then they sprung it onto us that Clash in Paris was the last PLE to be on Peacock. So we have 2 weeks until WrestlePalooza, which is going to be their big kickoff for ESPN. We obviously don't want to miss it. But just because I have the app for ESPN and I have the subscription, does that mean I can still watch that? Or do I have to pay an additional thing to watch every PLE? That's my thing, because I read something separate that on top of that, you're going to have to pay $30, or is it for the people who don't have the subscription?
Yeah, we're going to have to get clarity, and it won't be just be us. It'll be a lot of people, because I'm telling you, a lot of people won't pay it.
No, and like you said, we have stood our ground on not paying for AEW's pay-per-views, and we've gone so many years for WWE, which I don't mind paying a monthly subscription for something, but not an additional, because that's what AEW is doing, is you pay for HBO Max, which I already have, but you get a discount to pay to watch that. I'm not doing that.
Nope, not happening either. Not happening for me either, ever. So this move just doesn't affect the fans. It shakes up the business side too. What do you make of the industry fallout between NBC, Peacock, ESPN, Disney gaining WWE, and potential crossovers?
I'm curious how this will impact Peacock. I'm not going to give up my subscription just because WWE is not streaming their PLEs anymore. So that hopefully doesn't impact them majorly, but I know it's going to, because people are going to be like, sorry, bye. That's, $5-10 less than I have to pay, and I'm going to put it towards ESPN. Yeah, so I'm curious, how that's going to impact them, advertisements, other future relationships. ESPN and Disney, that will be interesting. ESPN, we've already got a little glimmer of how this is going to work, just because of even them bringing in other athletes from other sports to the show. Like, I love Pat McAfee. I love that just because he's a fan, and that doesn't mean that other sports casters or any athlete is not a wrestling fan. So it's always nice to see them be a part of it, and it's cool to see WWE talent in the crowds for football games and UFC events and that kind of thing. So it's fun to see them intermingle. Will they, I don't know. I remember you always saying if they partner with Disney, are they going to have Disney storylines?
Yeah, and I'm scared about that also. I don't want that to happen. I mean,
how?
Well, you never know. I mean, they may try to make
Cinderella versus Snow White?
Well, no, or just like someone waves a magic wand and now a wrestler falls asleep, or just like some of these just bizarre, wacky storylines, which I just don't want. So
I really hope that creative does not fall into that. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and I hope they don't either. I really do think that Disney has been smart about segmenting different services and different platforms under their umbrella, because now for a while Disney was very, very, hey, this is Disney, we're very PG and a lot of different things. Well, now once they acquired Hulu, that's way out the window. So I just keep everything separate. Make your money, that's fine, but just make sure that you let everyone kind of run the way they need to.
Let's have boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now let's have some fun. Looking ahead, what could this mean for WWE's future?
I know there was a big talk of having potentially UFC and WWE combine like into like a mega event. I don't know how I feel about that because we've seen a couple of matches, not with just WWE, but even AEW had a little touch of some kind of similar matches that just fell short. And I don't know. I don't see it happening. I see them maybe coming in and look at, we had Ronda and we know how that turned out too. So, yeah, I don't see them having combined events, but I do see them partnering together and doing things, but not actual matches.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that. Look, if you have guys from UFC that decide to kind of jump over, for a storyline or an angle, or wrestle a couple of matches, that's fine. I think combining the audiences, I don't think you'll serve any type of purpose at all.
Yeah, and another thing too is fans were questioning if WWE, it's entertainment that's what they've always focused on. Are they now switching more to an athletic sports focused program rather than entertainment?
That would be interesting to see for sure, because wrestling's always been a balance of some sorts between athleticism and storylines.
Yeah, that's what I'm more interested to see is, are they really turning and calling themselves evolving into something more sports folk? I don't know. It would be weird to see that just because it is entertainment. That's what we're used to seeing. I look at it as like a sports drama that I watch throughout the week. So it should be interesting how this all plays out.
For sure. And at the end of the day, was this the right move for WWE, the fans, and the industry as a whole?
That we don't know.
I was just about to say, I don't know the answer to that question. My initial thought is I'm positive. Like, I'm trying to be a positive person and say, because listen, having them on SportsCenter is actually a big deal. Because you're getting mentions and such. Like, that's actually a big deal. But if they're going to charge addition on top of being an app, I got to be honest, so what's the point of having the app? I don't really care that much.
Yeah, and that's what also makes me nervous too, is for the past couple of years since they have merged with TKO, it's been very money focused for them. Prices for shows have doubled because I have unfortunately paid double for my next show. And it's one thing after another where it's more money, more money, more money. Does this mean that that's all they're going to focus right now on is sponsorships, ads, and just making money off of fans until I don't know. So I know it's business, but I know a majority of fans have been very vocal about it. With this economy too, it just doesn't make sense to make us pay even more on multiple platforms.
Do not price your fans out of the market. If you do, you will fail time and time again.
I mean, we are the ones that make the money. We're the reason why they keep going. So I get it, but I just don't want this to be outrageous. And I'm very interested on how WrestlePalooza is going to be.
Yeah,
it's going to be it's going to be a spectacle. We'll say it that way.
All right, that wraps up this episode. What do you think? Was WWE's right to jump ship from Peacock to ESPN the right one? Let us know your thoughts and predictions by shooting us a DM at the Shoots and Ladders. And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Jason.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Have a great week. Bye, friends.
This has been Shoots and Ladders. Follow us for more content.